So, your crypto portfolio is on the ground. Everyone's telling you the market's over. The other side is that we're only just beginning. Well, what is the truth? You know that we try and stay objective here on the channel. We're going to break down some key things, get a bit more into this whole Trump dumping the market economic strategy, what this could mean fundamentally for cryptocurrency. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much. All the support you're giving, it really is helping the channel grow. So do me a favor, definitely share this far and wide, hit the like and subscribe button. Let's get into it. So Ash Crypto here, who flips and flops from being the most positive individual to being the most negative individual, has a really good stance. And we'll talk a little bit more in just a minute, but I wanted just to give you the overall flavor of what this video is all about. The 7 trillion US debt is the reason why Trump wants stock markets to crash hard. $1.75 billion off the stock market again today, which is a massive dump. His playbook: crash stocks, pump bond markets, and force rate cuts. And actually, when we look at those rate cuts, they are closer than ever, and they may come sooner than even I anticipated. So the US government has to refinance $7 trillion of debt in the next 6 months. There is no way Trump wants to refinance it at the current 10-year yields, which is about 4.5%. Then this is why he wants stock markets to crash and pump the bond prices. As bond prices will go up, yields will come down, and the US government will be able to refinance their debt at a cheap rate. Not only that, lower bond yields will also push the Fed to do rate cuts, which is bullish for risk on assets. Don't panic over the short term and look for the longer term picture. The bull market is not over. Mega pump is still coming. So what does he mean by this? The reality is that the Trump administration or the US government has to refinance a massive amount of debt, over 7 trillion. The total debt, by the way, is around 36 trillion at the minute. Now, you can either refinance that debt by printing money, which is ultimately printing yields. This is going to be at 4.5%. Or you absolutely turn the money printers on that we can see here. What does this do? You print more bond yields. You print more bonds for people to buy. You ultimately dilute the percentage that you return to investors, currently at 4.58%. Imagine getting that down to 3.5%, maybe even a bit less. You then refinance your debt at a significantly lower rate, thus giving you a benefit to that. And this is exactly what Trump's trying to do. The way you have to do that, though, is the Fed needs to turn the money printers on. Now, we are seeing global liquidity increasing, that measure being the M2. You can see here on this chart that the M2 seems to just coincide with Bitcoin movers as well. So not only you've got Trump trying to dump the stock market, which inadvertently dumps the crypto market, well, the M2 got turned on for many of the top 21 global banks, and it's about a 10 to 15 day lead delay and about 8 weeks until we really see this starting to have a positive effect on the charts. What we can say is history generally has a 70-day lag before we then see Bitcoin move in line with the M2 supply. This could coincide perfectly with refinancing and obviously the money printers in the US. This could be very bullish. Now, when we take a look at the Fed Watch, the indicator that tells us what the potential upcoming rate cuts are, we talked about this the other night, 4% on March the 19th. It doesn't matter if Donald Trump completely broke every single market on the planet, we still wouldn't get a rate cut. However, if you remember, 30th of July was where we absolutely expected a rate cut. This is moving rapidly. And now, when you move to the 7th of May, there is only a potential 4% difference between a rate cut or not. This is unheard of. So you could argue right now, Trump's plan's working. He is bringing the Fed nearer to having to make that decision. If they make the decision, it means refinance the deal better, which is a big win for everybody. Now, it is a high-risk strategy. We can't deny that if he gets it wrong, this could absolutely send the country into recession. The global market equity would just fall out. Everything would go to complete shit. We'll have to see what happens, but it's very interesting. And then you look to July, which originally was the first potential rate cut. We may even see a second rate cut, 50 basis points by the mid-year point. By the end of the year, where could we be looking at? A 1.25% basis point cut by the end of the year, bringing inflation to about 3.2 to 3.5% would be insane in a year where the Fed said we won't cut rates. Could Donald Trump force the Fed to cut 3 times? This could be incredibly bullish for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now, double down on the fact that Trump is still motoring ahead with his strategy around digital assets. In fact, we know, looking at yesterday, World of Bitcoin Finance buying even more Ethereum. Well, we obviously had the big crypto summit, and a lot of people haven't really talked about it. But I wanted to give you this. Eleanor Terra, absolutely finger on the pulse. And again, quote a few things here. It says, the summit was clearly a way for the administration to welcome the industry with open arms. Former CFTC chair Giancarlo, who had sit at the round table, told me this is the way of them saying, you've been prosecuted and now we're going to celebrate you. Brad Garlinghouse given a quote saying, it's a stark contrast between the Trump and Biden administrations. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the difference, he said. The Democrats under Biden wanted us to go to the big house. The Republicans under Trump invited us to the White House. The turnaround here has been incredible. Alongside Garlinghouse and Giancarlo were other leading industry figures like Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong announcing 1,000 new jobs, Michael Saylor, as well as Gemini founders the Winklevoss twins, and Robinhood co-founder and CEO Vlad Tenev, all of which spoke incredibly positive about this. You double down on the fact that you had notable attendees such as Hester Pierce was there, along with Brian Quintes, Trump's pick for permanently lead the CFTC. Very interesting indeed. Paul Atkins, however, was not there, head of the SEC. So with all of that, that is still very bullish. Double down on the fact, once again, Michael Saylor, the biggest crypto bull, looking to buy another $21 billion worth of Bitcoin, and long-term holders, guess what? They're not going anywhere. What is important to reference here, by the way, long-term holder supply generally sees a decline when we run through post-bull market moves or we move into the big phase of a bull market. Well, we are absolutely in that same space now. Long-term holders simply are not selling their Bitcoin. Ultimately, other people are, the retail investor. Now, double down on the fact that Bitcoin hovering around 75.5K, not the ideal scenario, but like we said, look at this, the M2 global liquidity supply here over the price of BTC. What do you notice? You notice a nice move to the upside. This could be absolutely something to expect, and a potential move coming very, very soon on the price of BTC. So lots to be positive about. Is Trump's plan working? Are we going to see 3 rate cuts? This could be incredibly bullish. And my prediction for the market cycle top coming in around mid-August with a final of around the 20th of October. Well, feels like it's playing out pretty well. Time will tell, but we have to look at the macro and you have to make the decisions that are right for you. But as you look at it objectively, at the minute, the early part of Trump's plan, bring the markets down and force the Fed, seems to be working. We're going to keep you close on this story. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to the channel. You cannot afford simply to miss what's going on in the markets. As always, we're here 6 days a week, bringing you the latest and greatest in cryptocurrency. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.